Oh yeah, she's that country girl who overcame the stigma that Southern women are barefoot, backwoods, and backwards. Now she's an articulate voice for conservative values and wisdom in America. Sitting on her front porch sharing common sense, here's Marnie!
Hi, welcome back to my front porch where we talk about common sense principles in America. And I'd like to talk with you today about something that I've noticed a pattern of as I've been talking to people on both sides of the spectrum, that people really want to help other people. They want to help alleviate suffering. They want to make the world a better place. And some of us see that as something that government should do because they believe the government is more effective or efficient or has more resources to help people in different ways. And then there are those of us who believe that this is best done by individuals, private organizations, churches, things like that. So as I was thinking about this, I started noticing a couple news articles. And it really struck me that we do not need to wait for the government to fix our problems in our society. And in fact, we would be better and we would grow more as individuals if we solved a lot of our own problems or gathered people in our own communities to solve problems. For example, there's a little girl named Carden Mayfield in Madison City who noticed a need in the special needs kids at the school, the Madison City schools where they have special needs children, and weighted blankets really calm these children. So she rallied her community around and set a goal to create 54 of these cuddle buddies, she calls them, that are weighted blankets that they ended up donating to the Madison City schools. So this girl, this young teenager, got this idea, she rallied her community around it, and she did something good in the world. She grew from the experience, other people grew from it, and the people who had needs had those needs met. And there was no government involvement in that process at all. Another example of something like that is like my husband. He's very big on the environment and taking care of our nature and things around us and everything. So we live on the West Chickamauga Creek, and my husband will take his kayak out and travel up and down the creek every couple weeks or something and pick up trash out of the creek. And he just does that, quietly doing it. Nobody realizes he's doing it. You think about it, how many of us have a pet thing that is important to us, whether it's helping special needs kids or whether it's picking up trash or whatever, and we just sit and say somebody ought to do something, the government ought to fix this problem or whatever. What if it's not the government's job to fix it, it's our job to do something? What if we really, instead of just talk about what's wrong or amiss and shifting the blame on and the responsibility onto someone else, we took responsibility for it? What if we gathered people together? For example, our community, the Catoosa County area of Georgia, they have these days where the community turns out and they do a big cleanup. And my husband did part of that whole kayaking and cleaning up the river as part of that. There's another example, is if you want something done, then maybe you should do it yourself in a different way. For example, there are those who feel like there needs to be a border wall in Texas. And so this one group of people in El Paso, a private organization, got the money together. They went to private ranchers and people who own land along the border in El Paso, Texas, and asked them if they could build a wall there. That, would you allow us to build the wall there? And we'll come up with the funds. And so they did a big fundraiser, and they built a half a mile of wall that is curtailing the influx into the country at that point. They believed in it enough to do something about it. And how many of us do that? Probably not a lot. Think about that. The next time something's your pet project, that thing that means something to you and you think the government ought to do about it, whether it's improvement in food and things like that and what people are taking into their body, maybe you have a gift to educate people on what is healthy food and how to pick out healthy foods. You opening your mouth and maybe doing a blog or maybe making some videos or just teaching people in your community, doing some little classes or volunteering in the school to teach children about how to eat healthier. There's different ways to go, and it's just you and your imagination. Come up with it, and you can do like the little girl did or the people building the wall and get other people who believe like you do on board, doing the same things or funding the project, however you want to do it. Think outside the box. Think beyond government. And let's start taking personal responsibility for our own communities, our own country, and stop pushing it off on government. Y'all take care. God bless. Have a wonderful day.